I'm Norbert Schindler, founder of GNSS Consulting. I recently made a video titled "What is Satellite-Based Tolling?" in which I described how we can use multiple devices, each having a GNSS receiver that allows us to know our position, for example, on a toll road or any kind of road if we have road user charging. And I basically presented the idea of using smartphones, since we all have a smartphone in our pocket. We all have basically what we need to determine the distance we travel. Why to invest all that money on the roadside infrastructure if we can do it with satellite positioning? So you might ask, if it's so easy to use smartphones, then why aren't we using them? Or has anybody used them until now? And the answer is actually, since 2021, Poland has introduced a satellite-based tolling system where also smartphone apps are an option. So Poland was the most recent of the 8 countries in the European Union to introduce satellite-based tolling, switching from a microwave-based system, where we know from the Czech Republic that by switching from microwave to satellite, we were able to cut the operation costs by half while doubling the size of the toll road network. So whereas in the Czech Republic, everyone has a mandated onboard unit, which is supplied by the operator at no cost, Poland chose the bring your own device approach. So you could either use a fleet management device or tracking device from one of many service providers, or you could download a smart app for free. So the idea of managing everything on your own is, of course, an attractive alternative if it doesn't cost anything, but it also brings some downsides. Like if you decide to file your taxes on your own, you might make a mistake, you might have to pay a penalty, you might miss out on some opportunities to claim some tax refunds, which is why many people, including myself, just hire an accountant or a tax advisor. So the same with smartphone, you have to basically take care of everything on your own. You have to make sure you download the app properly, that you register your vehicle properly, that it's in a good location, maybe near the windshield of your vehicle, not buried somewhere deep in your car where the satellite signal will be poor, that you have enough battery power, and so on and so forth. Because if you don't install everything correctly, chance of getting caught by an enforcement is very high, and then you'll pay a severe penalty most likely. So in the case of Poland, only 10% have actually chosen the free smartphone app approach. So it would be nice to learn more from the Polish authorities what experience they have with smartphones, but they've been very reluctant to share much information on that. Hopefully that will change. So we can look forward to the next system being installed that's planning to use smartphones. That would be Indonesia, the country with the world's 4th largest population. They have motorways which are currently using toll plazas, which they plan to replace completely with a satellite-based solution. And since there's 50 million vehicles, and they don't want to have that high upfront cost of providing onboard units to each of those vehicles, which would cost, let's say, between $50 and $100 each, based on the European standards we have today. Of course, you can maybe cut that down to $20 to $30 each, but still it's a lot of money if you have to equip all those vehicles. So they plan to provide the smartphone app for free, and they can still provide, or they can still offer the users to choose a service provider that gives them an onboard unit. So the thing is, once you give the responsibility to a user, a lot of things can go wrong. Rather than having a standardized device, anybody can choose any smartphone, which may or may not have good accuracy. Maybe their data plan runs out, they cannot send the data. Maybe their battery power runs out. So there's no standardization in a smartphone. That's a major obstacle, which can be overcome. I mean, if the user wants to take that responsibility, why not let them? But be prepared to have a lot of engagement with your call center, because all those users will have all those questions, which is different if with a plug-and-play device. You just hand out the device, they put on the windshield, and they go. You never have to worry again. So that's the basic idea behind smartphone apps and tolling. We're just at the very beginning of it, but we can expect to see a lot more coming. Lithuania has already launched that idea in a proposal for a tender that could be coming very shortly. Another concern is data privacy. Many users might be concerned about that they're being tracked and traced by government authority, or maybe even a private authority, but that's a topic for the next time. Signing out from the Trillion Alps at 1,500 meters at the Pendling Mountain next to Kufstein.